Welcome back to B&B Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the explosive drama unfolding in The Bold and the Beautiful for Tuesday, October 28th, where Luna Nozawa's reckless ploy pushes Lee Finnegan to her breaking point and Liam Spencer drops to one knee with a heartfelt remarriage plea to Hope Logan. In the cozy yet tension-filled confines of Brooke Logan Forrester's elegant Los Angeles home, adorned with fresh flowers and family photos that whisper tales of past triumphs and heartbreaks, Liam Spencer arrives with a fire in his eyes that hasn't burned this brightly in years. He's done waiting, done second-guessing the twists of fate that have repeatedly torn him and Hope apart, from corporate betrayals to lingering shadows of old flames like Steffi Forrester. This time, Liam feels an unshakable certainty washing over him, a clarity born from months of soul-searching and near misses that nearly cost him everything. As the afternoon sun filters through the sheer curtains, casting a golden glow on the living room where Hope sits pensively, nursing a cup of herbal tea, Liam takes her hands in his voice steady yet laced with raw emotion. "Hope, you've always been my anchor, my light through the storms," he declares, pulling out a sleek velvet box that holds a stunning diamond ring, its facets sparkling like the promise of their renewed future. Their history is a tapestry of passion and pitfalls, secret weddings interrupted, custody battles that tested their bond, and moments of doubt fueled by the meddlesome Logans and Spencers, but Liam insists they've evolved beyond the chaos. He's convinced that their deep, enduring love, forged in the fires of adversity, is now unbreakable, ready to bloom into the stable life they both crave. Hope's eyes well up as memories flood back, their first dance under the stars, the birth of their daughter Beth, and the quiet nights rebuilding after every fallout. Liam envisions not just a ceremony, but a fresh start, a beachside vow renewal with close family, symbolizing their commitment to weather any future gales together. As Hope processes this bold move, her heart races with a mix of joy and lingering caution, but the pull toward Liam proves irresistible, setting the stage for her imminent acceptance that will ripple through their interconnected world. Picture the scene, Hope slipping the ring onto her finger, a tear-streaked smile breaking across her face as she whispers, "Yes, Liam, let's make this forever." This pivotal yes doesn't just seal their romance, it ignites excitement for their blended family, particularly little Beth Spencer, who has endured her share of parental upheavals with wide-eyed innocence. Beth, now thriving in her stable school routine and adoring her doll collection that mirrors the glamorous lives of her soapstar parents, will soon receive the joyous update during a family video call from Brooke's very spot. Imagine Beth's giggles echoing through the phone as Hope shares the news, her tiny voice squealing, "Mommy and Daddy are getting married again? Can I be the flower girl with a big poofy dress?" This reunion news promises to mend old fractures, drawing in Liam's father Bill Spencer for reluctant support and even Hope's mother Brooke, who beams with maternal pride, envisioning a lavish event at the Forrester estate. Yet, beneath the bliss lies a subtle undercurrent of realism. Hope and Liam both know that in the high-stakes world of Los Angeles elite, happiness must be guarded fiercely against rivals like Thomas Forrester, whose obsessive tendencies could resurface to test their union. Their story arc, rich with redemption themes, underscores how true love in B&B often demands resilience, turning potential tragedy into triumphant harmony. Shifting gears to a different corner of passion's playground, Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes find themselves drawn into an intoxicating orbit, their chemistry crackling like static before a storm as they deepen their unexpected bond over shared vulnerabilities. Deacon, the reformed bad boy with a tattooed past of bar brawls and business blunders, has always been the wild card in Il Giardino's bustling kitchen, but now he's stepping into uncharted therapist territory for Taylor, the poised psychiatrist whose own emotional armor has cracked under recent family pressures. After a late-night confessional at the restaurant, perhaps over a shared bottle of vintage Cabernet, with the scent of garlic and herbs lingering in the air, Taylor opens up about her lingering heartache from Ridge Forrester's divided loyalties and the strain of mothering Steffi through her marital woes. Deacon, surprisingly empathetic beneath his rugged exterior, flips the script by offering sage advice drawn from his own rock-bottom recoveries, like the time he rebuilt his life post-prison with sheer grit and a dash of optimism. This role reversal sparks an undeniable magnetism. Their laughter mingles with lingering glances, hands brushing accidentally over the candlelit table, hinting at the electric tension building toward a possible kiss. Envision the moment, Taylor leaning in, her professional facade melting as Deacon's gravelly voice murmurs encouragement, their lips meeting in a forbidden rush that could shatter alliances and ignite tabloid frenzy. This pairing adds layers to B&B's exploration of unlikely romances, where ex-villains like Deacon find redemption not just in family ties, but in genuine connections that challenge the status quo, potentially drawing ire from Taylor's exes and complicating the Forrester-Hayes dynasty further. Meanwhile, the fallout from Luna Nozawa's audacious prison gambit, a self-inflicted black eye meant to evoke sympathy and sway opinions, ignites a fury in Lee Finnegan that could rival the most dramatic courtroom showdowns, as she storms into the fray determined to expose the deception. Lee, the no-nonsense doctor with a pristine white coat and a spine of steel honed from years navigating the cutthroat medical world and family intrigues, appears in the episode fresh from a grueling shift at the hospital, her face etched with exhaustion turning to outrage upon hearing of Luna's latest ploy. This stunt, whispered through the prison grapevine as a bid for early release or leniency, mirrors Luna's history of cunning schemes, from forging documents to manipulating affections in a desperate climb up the social ladder. Lee, once cautiously hopeful that Luna's ties to her son Finn could spark genuine change, recalling a brief moment of optimism during a tense family dinner where Luna vowed reform, now views her as irredeemable poison, a threat to the fragile peace Steffi and Finn have clawed back after betrayals and baby scandals. In a charged confrontation, perhaps at the Forrester Mansion's opulent living room overlooking the city lights, Lee corners Finn and Steffi, her voice sharp as a scalpel. "That girl's black eye? Pure theater, designed to tug at heartstrings and derail justice." Apologetic for her initial blindness to Luna's chaos, which indirectly fueled the mayhem through overlooked warnings, Lee pledges unwavering support, urging them to fortify their barriers against further intrusions. This evolution in Lee's stance highlights B&B's theme of protective maternal instincts, where forgiveness gives way to fierce guardianship, ensuring Luna's web of lies unravels under scrutiny. As Luna's isolation behind bars intensifies, with irate visitors like vengeful ex-allies piling on the pressure, Lee Finnegan emerges as the next formidable adversary, poised for a visit that blends confrontation with cold calculation. The prison visitation room, stark with its metal tables and buzzing fluorescents, sets a gritty backdrop for Lee's arrival, her designer heels clicking authoritatively against the linoleum as she faces Luna through the plexiglass divider. Luna, disheveled in her orange jumpsuit, sporting the purpling bruise as a badge of her supposed victimhood, pleads her case with wide-eyed desperation, but Lee sees through the facade, her expression a mask of disdain forged from betrayal. "Prison suits you, Luna, it's the only place your manipulations can't touch my family," Lee might retort, delving into a pointed lecture on consequences, referencing Luna's string of deceptions that endangered innocence and shattered trusts. Inventing a new twist, Lee could reveal a hidden detail, anonymous tips from hospital colleagues confirming Luna's history of self-harm for attention, adding forensic weight to her accusations. This encounter not only taunts Luna's crumbling empire but reinforces Lee's role as the moral compass, warning that no amount of theatrics, be it bruises or crocodile tears, will alter her fate. B&B enthusiasts will relish this power dynamic, as it echoes classic arcs where antagonists face unyielding justice, paving the way for Luna's deeper descent into regret. Throughout the episode, Luna Nozawa's persistent cries about her unborn baby's peril, framed as a high-stakes health scare amid her incarceration, continue to echo hollowly, dismissed by Lee as yet another calculated bid for pity in a long line of cons. Huddled in her cell, Luna clutches her midsection dramatically, spinning tales to guards and lawyers of prenatal distress triggered by the harsh environment, complete with invented symptoms like dizzy spells and phantom pains to humanize her plight. Yet Lee, armed with medical expertise and maternal intuition, counters this narrative during a potential sidebar chat with authorities, labeling it stunt number infinity, a desperate grasp at freedom disguised as maternal woe. Drawing from Luna's checkered past, including fabricated emergencies that once derailed Finn's career, Lee paints a vivid picture of manipulation mastery, urging skepticism to prevent any loopholes. This clash amplifies the episode's tension, blending soap staples of family secrets and ethical dilemmas, as Luna's web frays under the weight of truth, hinting at future reckonings where her deceptions boomerang spectacularly. Next. The walls of Los Angeles County Jail have just become home to an unlikely and potentially explosive partnership. Luna Nozawa, the pregnant young woman who terrorized multiple families with her crimes, has found an unexpected ally in Dr. Grace Buckingham, the disgraced physician who once conned Bill Spencer out of $1 million with a fake brain tumor scheme involving Liam Spencer. What began as a chance encounter in prison has evolved into something far more sinister, a calculated plan for revenge, manipulation, and escape that threatens to shake both the Spencer and Forrester families to their core. Two women, one vendetta. Dr. Grace Buckingham isn't someone who should be trusted. This is the same woman who fabricated an inoperable brain tumor diagnosis for Liam, convinced his father Bill to pay for an expensive experimental surgery, and pocketed the money to protect her daughters from her ex-husband Reese's gambling debts. Her medical license may be gone, but her cunning mind and manipulative skills remain razor-sharp. When she encountered Luna in their shared prison facility, Grace saw something familiar, a young woman desperate enough to do anything, just as she once was. Luna, currently pregnant with Will Spencer's baby, has already proven she's willing to cross any line. She murdered 2 people, shot both Liam and Sheila, and has been scheming relentlessly to secure her freedom. Her previous attempt to gain Bill's sympathy by orchestrating a prison beating failed spectacularly when the Spencer patriarch refused to help her. But Grace recognized what Bill couldn't see: Luna's desperation makes her the perfect partner for revenge. The 2 women bonded over their shared grievances against the Spencer family. Grace still harbors resentment toward Bill for exposing her fraud, while Luna blames the entire Spencer clan for her current predicament. More importantly, they both understand the power of manipulation, and they're both willing to weaponize it. The blackmail scheme takes shape. Grace proposed a deal that Luna couldn't refuse: protection for both her and her unborn baby in exchange for cooperation in an elaborate blackmail plot targeting Bill and Will Spencer. Grace's demands are specific and calculated. She wants money, lots of it, to rebuild her life after losing her medical career. She also wants protection and early release for her daughters, Paris and Zoe Buckingham, from any legal troubles that might arise from her own criminal activities. But the plan requires perfect execution. Luna would serve as the bait, using her pregnancy and her connection to Will to create leverage. Grace would provide the strategic framework, using her medical knowledge to make their story bulletproof. Together, they would create a situation where Bill Spencer would have no choice but to comply with their demands, or risk losing his grandchild and seeing his son Will suffer. The scheme was brilliant in its simplicity. Luna would once again orchestrate a violent attack on herself in prison, but this time it would be far more severe. Grace, with her medical expertise, would ensure the injuries looked life-threatening while avoiding any real damage to Luna or the baby. The goal was to create such a horrifying scenario that Bill would be forced to intervene immediately. The brutal beating that changed everything. When Luna, accidentally, found herself on the receiving end of a vicious assault from her fellow inmates, the injuries were shocking. Her face was badly bruised, her eyes swollen shut, and she appeared to be in genuine distress. The prison doctor was immediately called, and Will received the urgent notification that Luna had been attacked and that both she and their unborn child might be in danger. Unlike her previous attempt, this beating was far more convincing. Grace had coached Luna on exactly how to present herself, what symptoms to report, and how to maximize the emotional impact. Luna played her part perfectly, sobbing about her fear for the baby's life and begging the doctor to contact Will. Will, despite his better judgment and his commitment to his girlfriend Electra Forrester, couldn't ignore the call. The thought of his unborn child being harmed was too much to bear. He rushed to the prison, where Luna put on the performance of her lifetime, tears streaming down her face, voice trembling with fear, insisting that she couldn't survive in this environment with a baby on the way. Bill's impossible choice. When Will confronted his father with Luna's situation, Bill Spencer faced an agonizing dilemma. He had promised himself, and his family, that he would never help Luna again. She had betrayed his trust, assaulted his son, and manipulated everyone around her. But the situation had changed. This wasn't just about Luna anymore, it was about an innocent Spencer baby who could be harmed if Bill didn't act. Grace had anticipated this perfectly. She knew that Bill's protective instincts toward his family would override his anger at Luna. She also knew that the sight of a pregnant woman covered in bruises would create pressure not just from Will, but potentially from Katie Logan and others who might sympathize with the unborn child's plight. Against his better judgment and despite the protests from Katie and Steffi Forrester, Bill made a decision that would haunt him. He wouldn't bring Luna to the Spencer mansion, that would be too much. But he couldn't leave a pregnant woman and his potential grandchild in danger either. The safe house, where the real plan begins. Bill arranged for Luna to be moved to a secure, undisclosed location, a safe house where she could be monitored and protected until the baby was born. But there was an unexpected twist: Dr. Grace Buckingham was transferred to the same facility. The official explanation was that Grace, as a former medical professional, could provide proper prenatal care to Luna in a secure environment. In reality, it was all part of their plan. Once inside the safe house, away from the scrutiny of the prison system and with limited oversight, Grace and Luna could truly begin their scheme. They had successfully manipulated Bill into giving them exactly what they needed: freedom from prison, proximity to the Spencer family, and time to execute the next phase of their revenge plot. The safe house became their headquarters for manipulation. Grace immediately began documenting everything, creating medical records that would support their eventual blackmail demands. She coached Luna on how to maintain her victim persona while simultaneously preparing for the bigger game ahead. The expanding web of manipulation. With their freedom secured, Grace and Luna began targeting both the Spencer and Forrester families with surgical precision. Their plan was ambitious: create chaos that would force both families to meet their demands or face devastating consequences. For the Spencers, the threat was clear. If Bill didn't provide the financial compensation Grace demanded and ensure legal protection for her daughters, medical records would mysteriously surface showing that Bill's intervention in Luna's prison release was actually a calculated move to control access to his grandchild. Grace would paint Bill as a manipulator who endangered a pregnant woman's life by keeping her in dangerous conditions, then rescued her only to gain leverage over Will and the baby. For the Forresters, the plan was even more devious. Grace and Luna would leverage Luna's previous connections to the fashion empire and her knowledge of company secrets to create problems. They would target Steffi Forrester specifically, knowing that she had been one of Luna's most vocal critics and had personally confronted her in prison. The goal was to create enough turmoil that the Forrester family would also have incentive to pay for silence. The manipulation network grows. As weeks passed in the safe house, Grace and Luna refined their strategy. They realized that their greatest weapon wasn't just blackmail, it was their ability to pit family members against each other. Will was already conflicted about his feelings regarding the baby and his relationship with Elektra. Katie was torn between protecting her son and doing what was right. Bill was caught between his family responsibilities and his desire for justice. Grace used her medical knowledge to create situations that would draw family members to the safe house, forcing interactions that she could observe and exploit. She documented every conversation, every moment of weakness, every admission that could later be used as leverage. Luna, meanwhile, focused on Will. Despite his claims that he only cared about the baby and not about her, Luna believed she could win him back. She used every visit to subtly remind him of their past connection, to position herself as a victim of circumstances, and to create doubt about whether Elektra truly understood what he was going through. Grace encouraged this approach, knowing that if Luna could drive a wedge between Will and Elektra, it would give them even more control over the Spencer family dynamics. The ultimate endgame. The partnership between Grace Buckingham and Luna Nozawa represents something truly dangerous: two intelligent, ruthless women with nothing to lose and everything to gain. Grace has already lost her medical career and her reputation. She has no qualms about destroying others to rebuild her life. Luna has already committed murder and faced the consequences. Further manipulation seems almost inconsequential by comparison. Their plan extends beyond simple extortion. They envision creating a network of manipulation that would ensnare both families so completely that escape would be impossible. Financial demands would be just the beginning. Grace wants early pardons, legal immunity, and fresh starts for herself and her daughters. Luna wants custody of her baby, freedom from prison, and potentially even a relationship with Will that would cement her position in the Spencer family. But perhaps most dangerous of all is their willingness to escalate. If their demands aren't met, they've already discussed more extreme measures: releasing damaging information to the media, creating scandals that would destroy reputations, and even manufacturing medical emergencies that would force immediate compliance with their demands. A storm on the horizon. As Luna's pregnancy progresses and their time in the safe house continues, the question looms: how long can they maintain this deception before someone discovers the truth? Finn, who had previously exposed Grace's fraud regarding Liam's fake brain tumor, remains suspicious. Steffi refuses to trust Luna under any circumstances. And Bill Spencer, despite his protective instincts toward his grandchild, is nobody's fool. The stage is set for an explosive confrontation that could tear both families apart. Two cunning women, united by their grievances and their willingness to destroy anyone who stands in their way, have positioned themselves at the heart of the Spencer and Forrester families. Their manipulation network grows stronger with each passing day, their demands become more audacious, and their willingness to escalate knows no bounds. The alliance between Dr. Grace Buckingham and Luna Nozawa has created a powder keg waiting to explode. When it does, the fallout will be devastating for everyone involved. The only question is, who will strike first, the manipulators or their intended victims? And when the truth finally comes to light, will anyone be able to stop the chaos these two women have set in motion? In the high-stakes world of Los Angeles's most powerful families, trust is currency and betrayal is common. But nothing could have prepared the Spencers and Forresters for the calculated vengeance of two women who have absolutely nothing left to lose, and everything to gain.